started here a little bit, we're going to show you, first off, on behalf of the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Department, I want to thank everybody for this. One of the things that the K-9 department, K-9 unit does, well, actually we do a lot, but funding and the need for equipment is instrumental in training these dogs. We have to have the equipment in order to keep these dogs up to snuff. And I can't say enough for what John's done, Floyd's done, and you guys have done, because you've actually shown me that, hey, there is an interest out there and you do want to help. So I'd really like to give you guys a round of applause. What we're going to do here today is we're going to give you a little bit of an insight into what the dogs can do. A lot of people see these dogs on TV and they think that all they are biting machines. That's not true. What we do with these dogs, our main job with these dogs is as a locating tool, and we're going to show you that. Secondly is a use of force tool, and we're going to show you that too. Our dogs cover the gamut. Scott and all the dogs in the county kind of work together. Scott's with JPD, obviously. I don't know if any of you know him, Scott Franzen. I'm Brian Burmaster, just if anybody hasn't met me today. Throughout the county we have, we got you, Dunkirk, the state police, and our department. And I think that equals up to about 6 dogs?
Yeah.
6 dogs throughout the county. Now, the dogs are used in all kinds of different ways. Scott's got a drug dog and what they're called a dual-purpose dog, and he'll explain a little bit about that in a minute. But he's got what we call a dual-purpose dog. He's trained in patrol work and drugs, 2 specialties. Our department has, right now, 3 dogs that we utilize. We've got 2 black labs. One of them is my partner, and one of them is my other K-9 handler's partner who couldn't be here today. And I also carry a second dog, which you're going to see today. His name's Fallow. He's a German Shepherd. Now, we cover the gamut. We cover drugs. Fallow is going to be an explosives dog. We cover cadaver stuff. We do a lot. We try to have a dog for everything, and we use them quite a bit. We keep our program, the use of the dog is actually over the last few years has actually come up. I mean, it went from when I first started doing maybe about 80, 90 calls a year to well over 170 a year for these dogs. We're involved in searching vehicles, drug interdiction. We're involved in anytime there's an explosives call or bomb threat, we take the dogs. Lost person, we take the dogs. Bad guy on the run, hold up. Both the dogs are instrumental on the SWAT team. We try to have these dogs up and ready, but that takes money, that takes time, and it takes training. And in order to have a dog that's up and ready to go, we need to be able to fund that. And again, that's why you guys are here helping this out. Scott's dog, and I'm going to let him talk about it in a second here. He's going to show you a little bit about how the narcotics dogs work and how they train them a little bit. Yeah. And then he's going to give you a demonstration on show you actually how the dogs work and where how they find things and how he tells them how to find them. So, Scott.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Again, my name is Scott Franzen with the Jamestown Police Department. We have the youngest K-9 program in the county. In 2006, I had the opportunity to go to New York State Police School in Cooperstown, New York, where I completed 18 weeks of training and was given my partner Kendall. He's a purebred German Shepherd. He just turned 5 years old this summer. And from that point, like Brian said, it's a lot of training. We train twice a month, and then every year I still go back to Cooperstown for a week of certification. And again, because of the training group, I primarily train with the state police in that group, but also Brian and Jim Carlson and the other dogs in the area, we can just fall back on and train with each other also. We have slightly different philosophies in our background, but overall we're still working to the common goal of locating whatever we're looking for. Like you said, my dog is a multi-purpose dog. He's a patrol and narcotics dog. When we're searching for narcotics, he's certified to find marijuana, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, and LSD, because that's had a comeback recently. And on the patrol work, he does building searches, tracking, obviously handler protection protects me and I protect him because we always work as a team. Even when we're doing a building search, everything is, we go together and we're inseparable. I joke with sometimes at demos that I probably spend more time with Kendall than I do my wife. And because most of my shift is 7 at night to 3 in the morning. At some point there's probably a dog on it at some point. If somebody needs a call out, there's usually a dog working or we can be called from home. Our vehicles are all take-home vehicles, which most of the money came from grants and donations. So that way we're just set up when we can go. Just to touch on some of our equipment real briefly before I get them out. And again, most of the equipment initially was provided at training, and then anything else I need either comes from my pocket or the department's pocket to replace. Just different harnesses, because everything the dogs learn is based on fun and play. They don't look at it as work, but when they whether they're finding narcotics, they get to play with a reward. It's called a jute, and he gets to play. If he finds a bad guy, he gets to bite them and apprehend them, and that's fun and play for them. It's not stress, it's not work, and so it makes training easier because it's just all based on fun and play. But different things like this collar, unless we do it, we're going to let Brian take care of the bite demo. But I'll put his aggression collar on if we're doing building search. That way he gets the command to go in and find somebody. We give people ample opportunity to surrender, and if they choose not to, Kendall gets to have some fun. So. And again, it's like having another kid at home for you to have family. All our dogs live with us 24/7. We have kennels set up in our homes, and we need to take care of them like any other kid. They need exercise, walks, brushings, teeth brushings, vet care, and most of our stuff luckily has been provided from different agencies. A lot of our original setup. Our vet care is provided by Russell Veterinary Hospital, and Purina donates all the food products for us, so it's been a great help. Even a ballistic vest was provided by a school group in Warren, Pennsylvania to help protect Kendall when we're in real bad situations. So it's just the equivalent of what I wear when I'm working the road. But normally when we're doing our searches, and I'll go grab him here in a second, and it's just simple commands. The way just hook him up on his collar, and I speak English to my dog, just there are different types of training. Brian will speak a foreign language, and I just give him basic commands, search, and then we go to town. So let me go grab him, and you can then meet him.
While he's getting them, I'll just explain a little bit about how you train a dog towards this and what we're looking for in the dogs. Anything that we do for the dogs revolves around his nose. But we also utilize what they got called their drives. Every dog has a drive. And what we want to look for in a dog that's suitable for police work is what we call prey drive. And that's their inherent nature to run, catch, kill, subdue their prey. Anytime you see a dog working through using a toy, he's going through his prey drive or play drive. Okay? He's working for that toy. And I'll let Scott go.
Sit. Stay. Yeah, like Brian was saying, the play drive. When we first started, we basically introduced his toy, and if I pull out now, it'll start going crazy. But basically, we would just play with the toy, and that was the only toy he was allowed during training. So he could fixate simply on that. And once we moved up, our training just dealt with what we call a scent box. We stuck the toy in with whatever scent we were using, marijuana, for instance. And at that point, the dog, as he played with the toy, got used to the scent and smell. So, and then as the training progressed, as he found that scent hidden somewhere, then he got his toy and got rewarded. So. And I didn't know that originally when I showed up to Cooperstown, Kendall, he's actually a donation from the Humane Society. It was from Albany area. So again, it was another. He passed all the criteria for the training. So, come here. Come. I know you smell the other dog. Ready? So, search. Find your search.
What he's doing is he's directing the dog. He's doing what we call an on-lead search, where he's helping him out. You work as a team with the dog. and you'll notice generally where he taps, the dog's going to search.
I know you smell that puppy around here.
Now, there's got to be a way for the dog to be able to tell the handler that he's got something. Now you're going to see, I'm not quite sure which alert he's got. Can't remember. He's an aggressive alert dog. Take it up, buddy. Where is it? Where is it? There's two ways that a dog can tell you that he's basically found the scent. One was what we call an aggressive alert. That's good for a drug dog, but I've got a bomb dog. Do I want him doing that? No. The way my dog's going to tell me that something's there is he's basically just going to sit and stare at it. I don't want him touching the bomb.
I know. I'll look around. He likes the crowd. Look, sit. 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 Come here. Sit. But sit. Thank you. But yeah, he's got one, like you said, aggressive alert, where he's trying to dig it out or bite it out to show me where it's at. But man, even when we go into court and have testify, alert is any change of behavior. So there are times when we're searching a car, he doesn't necessarily have to start digging up a seat to show me where it is. He just gives me this goofy look and says, hey, I smell it, it's right over here. And sometimes that's just enough too, because we've been working together so long, you can read him and he can understand me. So, but basically that's what we do for detection, just simple commands. Usually his nose needs to be within like 18 inches of whatever's hit, whatever's missing. We're trying to find, and at that point the dogs have that good of sense of smell and hearing that. Sit. Sit. What do you got to face me? You're supposed to face up. So, at that point, then we dig it out and find it. In the cart, there's some marijuana hidden. So.
Some in my pocket too.
You're not within 18 inches.
With that said in mind, who knows what the most important part? Why do we have these dogs?
Protect you.
What's the reason why we get these dogs? There's a protection aspect in it, yeah. What's the most important part of a dog?
Nose.
Thank you. The nose. The nose on a dog is the most important part of the dog. We don't get these dogs because they got big teeth. We don't get these dogs because they're mean, they're nasty. We get these dogs because they got the best noses around. As of 2010, there is no machine out there known to us, or known to me, that has a better sense of smell or a better sense of indication than a dog's nose. Okay? A dog's nose, and a little bit of history about, a little bit of biology about a dog's nose, is a dog can smell more than one thing at a time. And we use that to our advantage. And what I mean is, you go into a house and you smell stew cooking, what do you guys smell? Stew. That dog goes into that same house and smells stew. What do you think he smells?
People.
Smells everything in that, and he can separate it in one sniff. He can come into that house and tell me, hey, there's carrots in that stew, there's potatoes in the stew, there's whatever's in the stew. He can tell. All right? I use that to my advantage when I train the dogs. Some people, Scott, I don't know if you did or not, you ever triple scent the toy?
No, usually not.
Okay. Yeah, you can do it either way. It doesn't make a difference. But generally what I do is I'll put 3 different scents in a toy at once. And I'll throw the toy, and every time the dog picks up the toy, he's going to smell all 3 of those scents. What's going to happen later is I'm going to take each one of those scents and I'm going to put them out separately. So every time he smells that, well, let's back me up here. Every time he picks up the toy, he smells the scents. So what's he going to associate those scents with? His toy. Now, I split those up. Okay, say I put some marijuana somewhere like you did, and he goes over and he smells that. What do you think he thinks he's finding?
His toy.
His toy. And then he's going to do the required alert to get the toy. So, any questions on that?
Yeah, I'll come back now.
Okay. One of the other things that we do, that's the detector portion, and that works the same way for whether it's a bomb dog, cadaver dog, bad fruit dog, snake dog. Dogs can smell anything. Once you train them on that scent, they'll be able to pick out just about anything. The other thing we have is what we call a patrol dog, and Scott, I think, touched on that a little bit earlier. Patrol dog. When I talk about patrol dog, what I'm talking about is a dog that can basically work on patrol. He's got to do basically what I do. He's going to be trained in area searches. They're trained to go out into the woods, use their nose to find people. They're trained in tracking. They're trained in building searches. These dogs can find a person faster in that building than I can, especially if he's someplace or hidden someplace. He's going to be able to do apprehension work, bite work, the fun stuff. All right, and I know a lot of you guys have been volunteering each other for this portion, but yeah. But we're going to show you a little bit about that here, but I want to talk a little bit about the different aspects and how they use their nose to do this. Again, we get the dogs primarily for a locating tool. All right, we want them to be able to find things. And then secondary, we want them to be able to use a use of force to help us. All right. If he goes, let's take tracking for instance. How many of you guys have seen CSI where they stick the dirty sock in the dog's nose? Dog goes down the road, starts following him down the road, and finds the guy in a bar somewhere 10 miles down the road. That's not how I do it. All right. The dogs can do that. Don't get me wrong. The way we train our dogs to track is footprint to footprint. You guys know?
A little different.
Okay. And what I do there is basically what we're going to do. If I step in the grass here, what happened where I stepped?
Left the scent.
Left the scent. What happened to the grass?
Imprint.
Got crushed up. It's going to smell. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to smell different than surrounding grass. We train the dogs to go from that smell to this smell to this smell, because that all smells kind of the same. It's different than what's around it. And we train them to go footprint to footprint to footprint to footprint. Now, there's going to be a time when all of a sudden my dog's going to be tracking, and then maybe he's going to go, pick his nose up and start sniffing the air. It's what we call air scenting. All right? That's telling me this guy's pretty close. So what we're going to do is I'm going to watch my dog. And I may give out a few warnings, and I may cut the dog loose and say, okay, go find him. All right? How's he going to find me?
His nose.
He's going to use his nose, absolutely correct. And he's also going to use the air sense. We go a little bit about how that works. You're out in the woods. Are you a bad guy or a good guy?
Hopefully a good guy.
Okay, you're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. All right? What's going to happen is if the wind's coming off her back, she's going to put out what we call a scent cone. It's going to come out further away from her, the wider it's going to be. I'm going to let Fallow go. And that's my dog's name if I didn't say it. He's going to get into this cone and he's going to say, I smell her. All right? He's going to go over here. He's going to come out of the cone. He's going to say, yep, she's not there, but I know she was over here. She's going to come back. Oh, there she is. There she is. Got to be over here. Nope, not over here, but I knew she was over here. So back, back, back. Hope she's not there. Back, back. Until she pinpoints her. Then what's he going to do? You a good guy or a bad guy yet?
Bite. Bite. Shake him out.
Let's say she's a good guy, okay?
Thank you.
Is he allowed to bite her?
No.
I was going to say, doesn't he usually just wait until you...
Well, it all depends. It all depends. We train our dogs just like we train the officers. I can't shoot somebody for stealing a candy bar, correct? Correct. Okay. The dog is trained not to bite a standing person. So what he's going to do is he's going to go into what we call reasonable force, bark and hold. Rough, 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 rough. Now you're looking at this dog and you decide I'm no longer a good guy, I'm a bad guy, and this little poodle here is not going to intimidate me, and you're going to take off running.
Yikes.
All deals are out. All deals are out.
I ain't running.
Our dogs are not to get me misconstrued, our dogs are not vicious dogs. They've been trained to do certain things, and it takes a lot of training to do that. So if I've got a good guy out in the woods, generally I'm probably going to have him on lead, and I'll just track right to where he is. If I got a bad guy, I'd like to have a little bit of cover and let the dog do the job. All right. Let me get the dog here, and what we'll do is I'm going to show you a little bit about how the dog bites. I'm going to give you a little demonstration on what the dog can do and why you don't want to get bit, and just a little bit of the obedience and what it takes to train a dog in this aspect. Now, let me go through that first. When we first get a dog to bite, we're going to use this is what we call an exposed sleeve. Big, heavy, the dog can see it, it's fun. All right, he can bite, he can hang on to it, he can do his thing, you can fight with them, and it's fun. We develop the dogs to bite and hang on. I don't develop these dogs, you're not going to see the dog bite, drop the bite you here, bite you there, bite you here. He's going to bite and hang on. 3 reasons. Stops the bad guy. It's better, it's safer for the bad guy.
Are they
2,
bad guys?
safer for me. And 3, it's safer for everybody else around us. Okay, less injury. All right, we're not getting multiple bites. Dog bites are tough. All right, they hurt. They do a lot of damage. So, what we do is we start out with this. Now, how many bad guys run down the road with one of these on? I've never seen one yet. Okay. We don't want the dog looking for the arm to bite or the sleeve to bite. So what we'll do is we'll progress into what we call an undercover sleeve. Now this is an undercover sleeve. We'd wear this and then we put a big shirt on over top of it so it looks like you just got Popeye arms. And then the dog learns that he doesn't have to see the sleeve to bite it. All right? But do I want a dog running down the road chasing a bad guy just trying to find an arm? Because if a bad guy knows, I'd be running like this. So we don't want that. And I didn't bring it, but what we do is we progress on to what they call a bite suit. Anybody see Fear Factor where they send the dogs on the big bite suit? That's what we use. And we teach the dog to bite high up in the back. So it's one of those things that it's safer for me, safer for the dog, safer for everybody. It takes the guy out of the fight. Now you got a 70-pound German Shepherd running at approximately anywhere from 23 to 27 miles an hour, hitting you in the back. Majority of people are going to fall down, so the fight's over. All right. I can't. There's only certain times I can send the dog. All right. I can't send them on just about anything, although I would really love to. Sometimes I would really love to, but I can't. I can only send the dog on certain things, certain felonies, or if I'm getting hurt. The dog is trained to protect me, okay? If I'm frisking somebody or somebody decides they want to come up and punch me, plan on getting bit, okay? He protects me, I protect him. But let me grab him. We'll do a quick couple bites here, and we'll take some questions after that.
And normally with our policies, I know you guys volunteered each other, but for safety, it's got to be another handler or a fellow officer or a trainer to take the bite, just for safety. And
We're really not worried about Scott.
also, we go in the habit of trying to cover up badges and stuff. So when we are training with our buddies, that the dogs don't get in the habit of wanting to bite a fellow officer. Sometimes as you're chasing somebody, you do send the dog, you're giving commands and you hope the fellow officers will stop, and because the dog's going to usually hit on the moving target.
Get over. Hey. Get over. Laney, stand still. Stand still. Stand still. Just come in with us. Okay. Again, he's trained to bite and hang on. He's not trained to let go.
Oh my God.
Now you're saying, how the heck do you get him off?
I know.
Sometimes you don't want to. Stand still. Hands up. Laney. Stand still. Hands up. Laney. Step away from my dog. You got to give him a little bit of, he's still in training, but he is doing very well. Okay. Now, I talked about doing a little bit of, the dog doesn't differentiate between good guy, bad guy. One of the things that we do, the way he knows who to go after and who to bite will be just basically from movement. We call it what they call target ID. Dog sees the guy moving, he's going to go. Whenever I got to send him, what we're going to do is I'm going to send out some more Sheriff's Department K-9 staff. I'll send the dog and I tell my guys, listen, you hear me say that, probably in your best interest that you stop. Because I can't guarantee who he's going to get. So they all know, they're trained in it. I train them in it. So, Laney, stand still. Stand still.
I'm going to go that way since the camera's there. Hey guys, just stand still.
Don't.
Sheriff's Department, come here. Come here, I'll send my dog. Come here, I'll send my dog. Last warning. Come here, I'll send my dog. Come on. More than likely, he'll stay there all day while I sit here and talk. Stop fighting my dog. Just slip this. And he went. Yeah. Again, you don't see any aggression in this dog. This is all fun for him. He enjoys it. Look at him. He's proud. He ripped his arm off.
Nice.
Run!
Does anybody have any questions?
Take part 31, guys.
And see, what you notice is, like our training, the jute I use is the same thing as the bite sleeves and the bite suits. It's all the same material, so the dog gets used to having that taste in his mouth. So everything kind of interrelates.
Do you keep the dogs until a certain age, or after a certain age do they retire?
Most of the patrol dogs work until 7, 9 years old, or depending on their health, but they go through a lot of pre-checks before getting into the programs. They'll do X-rays, and especially the play drives are most important, but they check their aggression, stuff like that. But primarily, yeah, they can go 7, 9 years easy.
Basically, we just retired my shepherd in February, and he's 11. So he still wants to come out and work, but he just can't. He's tired.
Oh.
Just a little bit about him. I know I didn't talk a lot about him. This is Fallow. He's a German Shepherd, and what's that? Yeah. He's a German Shepherd. He is imported from Czechoslovakia. I had him out earlier, and some of you were watching me, and you're asking, why are you talking funny to the dog? I talk Czechoslovakian to him. Don't ask me to say anything but sit down, stay, or bark, because I couldn't tell you anything else than that. Anything more than that. But he's about 18 months old. He's still in training. We started really training him in April, and it's been an ongoing process. He's doing real well. He's already at 15 months old. We tracked a guy and found a bad guy under a canoe. He found a handgun last Saturday. He's doing really, really well. I have high hopes for this dog. So.
Okay, any other questions?
He's got the play drive, so put that thing back on.
Well, if there's no other questions, again, thank you for all your support at the tournament today, and thank you again for the staff and all the help we got. And look forward to having you next year. And I think lunch might be ready, right?
The bar is open and food is ready. Help yourselves.
Thank you.